R.B. Bennett, the savior of the Depression, people once said. He was brought in to do better than myself. I refuse to help the people through this inevitability. We just had to ride the ball back down, then ride the ball back up the economy's natural trends. However, people didn't seem to enjoy this, electing a rich rookie in the form of Robert Bennett. There were very high expectations for Bennett, being a rich man who knows how to earn money, hoping he would do the same for Canada. Personally, I knew he would not perform, and Canada would come crawling back to me. The things that he imposed, or lack thereof, did nothing to improve Canada's economy. The first action that Bennett did was give people jobs. I'll give him that. However, he did this by imposing work camps. These camps were available to young single men. This was Bennett's first chance to kickstart the economy in Canada, and it failed miserably. His camps gave the men low pay, which would barely help their cases in the first place. Also, the conditions were terrible, and there were massive food shortages and supply shortages. The men in these work camps were treated like lackluster attempt at an army. The men in these camps were infuriated with Bennett, as he put them in these juvenile camps that made them even mad than they already were. While this was going on, the rest of Parliament were left to watch in alarm, as there was really nothing that they could do. Bennett shut out the rest of the government, and decides to make all the decisions by himself. I described it as a one-man show that got terrible reviews. Everyone in Parliament went to see his shows, and none of them liked it. Bennett tried to put more money into circulation, and give it to everyone. This worked for maybe a day or two, until everything on the market went up in price as well. This made people feel even more in poverty. All of the laws and regulations that he imposed all went down in flames. People said that I would do a terrible job in solving this economic downfall, but I think everyone regrets this decision now. Since none of his rules had been working, he turned to the newest president for guidance. I had this nickname for him during the last year of his term, which was R.B. Roosevelt. Bennett's revolutionary new system that was going to improve the economy drastically was the exact same as Franklin Roosevelt's things that he imposed when he first got elected in 1933. People were so outraged by this that earlier this year, 20,000 people rode the rails to go to Ottawa just to protest against Bennett. The protesters followed in the footsteps of two men who went before them to talk to Bennett peacefully. He proceeded not to listen to them and deemed all of the protesters as communists. The men were going to protest peacefully, but times were getting desperate for these frustrated men and women. So as they came, thousands of people tried to get Bennett to change. But he did nothing as they gained ground and gained supporters. As they got into Saskatchewan, Bennett started to worry. Instead of deciding to negotiate with the leaders of the movement, he cut them off instead and isolated them in Regina. He sent the RCMP into the area and forcefully get them to go back where they came from. There was no government representative sent in to talk to the protesters either. He did all of this and expected the people not to riot. So what did they do? These 20,000 infuriated men and women produced one of the biggest riots in history, and the biggest in over a decade. R.B. Bennett was a man that was brought in to do justice. But after 4 years of service, can we really say that he did the job we wanted him to do? All he succeeded in doing was to get people outraged, and he caused mass pandemonium. So vote William Lyon Mackenzie King, or be faced with another 4 years of Robert Bedhead Bennett. King or chaos? Let's end this economic downfall the right way, not the Bennett way.